What's going on today, guys? I know I told you eventually at some point I was going to get to ride the new Panigale V4S on the racetrack down at VIR. Still planning to do that. But since the bike just came out today and the guys here at Ducati Winchester are really nice to me, they're going to let me take out the Panigale V4S for a real quick ride. So I'm going to do like a first impression, first ride video and bring you guys along.
Wow, listen to that thing. I still can't believe they're going to take this out, but I'm not going to second guess them.
So when I left the dealership, this bike had, I think maybe 2 miles on it. Right now it's got 3 miles on it. We haven't gone very far. We're getting ready to hit up just a couple of side roads. I'm not going to be able to go very far on it, but at least get a little bit of a feel for what it can do. God, is this thing quick. You know, I'm not even cracking this throttle all the way open because this thing's almost scary. It's so fast. If this is the type of fun that Jorge Lorenzo and Andrea Dovizioso get to have, holy crap, I want their job. The only downside about being out riding the bike today is it is very windy out. I'm getting some side gust of wind here that, you know, this bike doesn't weigh very much, so it's kind of kicking me over a little bit. Just to give you a little bit of information on this bike, it does have a bunch of different fuel map modes on it. We may go over a little bit of those here at the end of the video because I kind of already looked at them earlier. I've got it in sport mode right now. It was in full race mode, and you know, 40-degree temperatures outside with wind gusts 20-30 miles an hour. I didn't think that was the smartest thing to do, so I keep forgetting this thing. I don't have to use the clutch to shift if I don't want to. God, I can't begin to tell you what the acceleration is like on this thing. I mean, I'm barely in the throttle and it's just shooting off like a rocket. You know, I've heard the Panigale S run from last year, and this, to me, the engine doesn't sound a whole lot different, even though it's gone from a V-twin to a V4, but this bike is much louder. I don't want to say much louder. It is much louder than last year's model, the V-twin, I feel like. Okay, that suspension's a little stiff back through there, felt that bump. Of all the bikes I've ridden, and I've ridden R1s, and CBR 1000s, and Gixxer 1000s, this is the first one I've ever gotten on, and I feel like I'm on an actual race bike that someone just put some turn signals and mirrors on. I'm on roads that I'm not supposed to be going as fast as I'm going right now, so I don't want to get in any sort of real trouble today. And again, that's not even wide open throttle, but you guys got to go ride one of these things. Holy crap. Alright, so normally we kind of have a route that we run when we're out riding on demo rides, but we're gonna deviate from that route a bit, because I'm not ready to take this thing back yet. And I don't know if they're ever going to let me take it back out again anyway. So just to talk about this specific Panigale a little bit, this is the S model, which it's got the electronically adjustable suspension. Honestly, it's got electronically adjustable everything. I mean, when you go into this map, it's amazing the adjustability you have on this bike. You also have a quick shifter. I mean, this is only a half a step down from a race bike. I mean, when they come out with the R model, I'm sure it'll be even more potent than this one when they do come out with one. I can't imagine a bike being much faster than this. Now, if you want to talk about ergos for a second, this is not going to be the most comfortable motorcycle you've ever ridden. I'll try to get you guys a shot of the seat, which is basically just a piece of foam they glued onto the fiberglass. But keep in mind, this is just a first ride. This is not a full review. I don't even know if I'm qualified to give a full review on a bike like this. It will do way more than my talents are capable of. And it's just an amazing piece of machinery. I mean, we're talking over 200 horsepower in a production street bike. Think about that for a second. I'll tell you what, these wind gusts are no joke today. And this is about a $27,000 motorcycle that had almost 0 miles on it when they let me take it out. So obviously I got to bring this thing back in one piece. Thank goodness this Civic's in front of me, otherwise that could have been bad sitting right over there. Now I've got the suspension set in sport mode right now, which is obviously going to be on the stiffer side. It's not as stiff as a race. And again, all these things are adjustable. You can go into the menus and fine tune it all. Over the railroad tracks wasn't too bad. You know, we were going through the menus on this thing earlier, and if you want to square off corners, you know, like spin it in, back it in, it'll let you do that. There's settings for that. I mean, there's, you know, it's got the semi-active suspension on it, so you can, you know, it'll keep it leveled out. You can basically tune this bike to be any way you want it to be, at least when it comes to going really fast. I'm not sure this bike can be tuned to go slow. The other neat thing, it's got a quick shifter on it, so I don't even have to let off. Look, no clutch, didn't let off the throttle. Those things are so much fun. You know, for me, I'm sure there's going to be guys that'll hop on this bike and just go flog the crap out of it to start. But for me, this is one of these bikes that, to be honest, it would take me a little while to get used to it. The power is just so amazing. Like, and it's, oh man, you know, it's not often that you guys have watched my review videos in the past. You watch some first ride videos. Like, I'm usually pretty good about explaining how things are. But this bike is so far outside of anything I've ever ridden before. I'm really, you know, my thesaurus just doesn't have enough expletives in it to explain what it's like to ride one of these things. God, the handling. Still a lot of gravel and crap out on the roads. Gotta be careful. You know, the only thing I wish we had a little bit better road conditions today, a little bit higher temperature, so we know the tires would hook up a little bit better and not have, you know, 20 and 30 mile an hour wind gusts. But, you know, it's tough for me to complain about my life right now. I'm getting to ride around on a V4S that I didn't even have to pay for. To be honest with you, it's a little bit difficult for me to talk to you guys while riding this thing because it requires full concentration. But this thing, we went back through some of the twisties back there, it is super nimble. Like, all you have to do is just bump the handlebar and it falls right into the corner. It's crazy how well this thing handles, but it really shouldn't be. I mean, this thing was designed to race. Hey buddy, you don't have to run off the road. Alright, so kind of the fun part of the ride is over. You can tell we're kind of back close to town and we got the stoplights. One thing that impresses me, you know, we're riding around on a 200 horsepower race bike, and you would think stoplight to stoplight it would kind of suck, like, you know, it just wouldn't be as refined. I would imagine riding a MotoGP bike through town would not be much fun. But this thing's actually, you know, it's got decent rideability through town. The clutch engagements, there's nothing really difficult. Plus, if you want to get lazy and not use the clutch, you know, like I am right now, you don't even have to let off the throttle and you can shift because you got that quick shifter on it. But the sound is awesome. We've already gotten plenty of thumbs up from people sitting in traffic, and they probably don't even know what they're looking at unless they're true motorcyclists, but this is something special. You know, guys, I don't know how helpful today's video was for my first ride. I mean, it was kind of like sensory overload for me riding this thing. It's just, like I said, I mean, it's so far different than any other type of bike I've ever ridden. I don't really know that I have the words to explain what it's like. I would suggest, if this is a bike you're interested in, go give one a test ride, because I can promise you, you're going to have a good time. And obviously, huge thank you to Ducati Winchester for letting me take out, like, literally, I've put 20-some miles on it already, take out this brand new V4S. I had an amazing time. I know they've already sold one V4. I believe this V4S is still available, so if you want to check it out, I'll link them in the description below, and come check it out for yourself.
So if you go into the settings menu, you can go into the riding mode, whichever riding mode you want to change, and you can go in and change the settings. So here's your traction control. You can dial it up, dial it down.
Oh, wow.
Here's the wheelie control. If you want the front end to come up, you want it to loft a little bit, you can do that. If you want it to be more stable and stay on the ground, you can do that. Slide control, safe and stable to performance. If you want to square off a corner with a little bit more throttle, you can move it over to the performance side. I'm recommending that most people probably don't do that.
Very good idea.
And then for a guy like me, who I have a bad memory and I can't remember where everything was, you can put it back to default very easily. And say, for example, you don't like the dynamic suspension acting the way it's acting, you can go ahead and change the electronic suspension change the way it responds, or you can go in and set your own custom fixed settings. So if I want to change my compression, I do it here. No more whipping out a screwdriver and making clicks and stuff like that. If I want to go ahead and change my my rear rebound, boom, it's in here.
Did I even see steering damper on there?
Yep, you got electronic steering damper. So you go into your steering damper, you can make it a little bit more stiff or a little bit less stiff, depending upon what's happening with the track that day, or excuse me, or with the road that day. But yeah, so with this thing, everything's here. Your left thumb. You don't need no tools. You don't need no pliers. You don't need no screwdriver. None of that stuff.
Alright guys, so once again, I know this wasn't the most informative video, but holy crap did I have fun. I hope you guys enjoyed the ride along. If you did, please be sure to give it a big thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, consider hitting that subscribe button. I'm going to be doing a lot of stuff here with Ducati Winchester. We're going to see a lot of their bikes on the channel, and I'm going to be doing full reviews on them where I'm going to spend a few days with them. If you've got any questions about the Panigale V4S, let me know in the comment section below. No, I did not soil my pants, but I was probably close. And as always, I'll talk to you again soon.
Really, the only thing that sucks is I had to bring it back.